Hey, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Y'all reveal yourself to me. Show me the way I'm supposed to be. Yeah, you are my shield, my glory. Lift around my head, yeah, you sustain me. Yeah, reveal yourself to me. Show me the way I'm supposed to be. Yeah, you are my shield, my glory. It's around my head, yeah, you sustain me. Please have mercy upon me. Oh, yeah, I am weak. I am so weary. I watered my couch with my tears. My eye is consumed cause of grief for so many years. Every day I throw my prayers up, I never did get an answer. Could it be that you are angry with me? I still praise you according to your righteousness. How excellent is thy name in all the earth. Yahweh, are my shield, my glory. It's around my head, yeah, you sustain me. Yahweh, are my shield, my glory. It's around my head, yeah, you sustain me. You are my refuge in my times of trouble. You are the king, there's no other besides you. You are my redeemer from the ones I was sold to. And I am so grateful that we're the apple of your eye. And you are my rock, you are my fortress, you are my strength, and you are my deliverer. So how long shall we bear this oppression? I call on your name right now. Now reveal yourself, reveal yourself to me. Show me the way I'm supposed to be. My shield, my glory, lift around my head, yeah, you sustain me. Yeah, reveal yourself to me. Show me the way I'm supposed to be. Yeah, you are my shield, my glory. Lift around my head, yeah, you sustain me. Oh, reveal yourself to me. Can you please reveal yourself to me? Yeah, reveal yourself to me. Please reveal yourself to me. Reveal yourself to me. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, reveal yourself to me. Yeah, reveal yourself to me. Show me the way I'm supposed to be. Yeah, you are my shield, my glory. It's around my head. Yeah, you sustain me. Yeah, reveal yourself to me. Show me the way I'm supposed to be. Yeah, you are my shield, my glory. Oh, oh. Yeah, reveal yourself. Yeah, you are my shield, my glory. Yeah, you sustain me. Yeah, reveal yourself to me. Show me the way shield, my glory. My hand, God, you sustain me.
Shabbat Shalom, Facebook fam. Shabbat Shalom, all my people out on YouTube. We'd like to welcome each and every one of you to another episode, slightly to week 14 of the manifestation of the so-called black man, of the so-called African American man. Tonight, we'd like to give all praise. We'd like to give all glory. We'd like to give all honor to a higher Baha Assembly Shire, World War. And for those of you who've not familiar with the Hebrew, that is all praise unto the Most High in the name of Christ as well as the Holy Spirit. Once again, we'd like to welcome each and every one of you to week 14 of the manifestation of the so-called black man, of the so-called African American man who's from the tribe of Judah, from the nation of Israel. Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya, Allahaya Nawa Ahaya Kat. Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya, Allahaya Nawa Ahaya Kat. Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya, Allahaya Nawa Ahaya Kat. Hear, O Israel.
Hear, O Israel.
The Lord our Yah is one.
The Lord our Yah is one.
Once again, we'd like to welcome each and every one of you to week 14 of the manifestation of the so-called black man, of the so-called African American man, who is from the tribe of Judah for the nation of Israel. Once again, we'd like to thank you. You know, you could have been anywhere in the world, so due to the fact that you decided to join us tonight, we do not take your time for granted. Pray and hope that all is well with you and your families. Pray and hope that all is well with you as an individual. And pray and hope that you came on tonight in a spirit of humility, a spirit of love, and a desire to hear what thus says the Most High. We thank you because we know that for many people, you're going through a lot of things. Did it kick you? Did you kick you off Facebook?
YouTube.
Okay. It's like it's kicking people off. We know it's a lot going on in the world. So tonight, the Most High has sent us a word of encouragement to speak to the people to where they are and to minister to the different things that are going on to the people across the world. All right, Pastor. Thank you for joining us, and man, we pray the Most High smiled out upon you, and we know that the Most High is going to bless you with a powerful word for the people tomorrow. We give all praise and honor to the Most High for your diligent service to the people up there in the Statesville area. So tonight, as I said, we have a very, very powerful word of encouragement tonight. One that we hope will inspire the people. One that we hope will enlight a fire. One that we hope will give you the encouragement to go forth and do what thus says the Most High. Tonight's lesson is entitled, Don't Overlook the Lily in the Valley. Don't overlook the lily in your valley. Now, we know that was a popular song that was sang throughout the Christian church and still sing throughout the Christian church. But I want people to kind of focus on the reality of what the song was trying to say. That in the midst of hard times, in the midst of dry seasons and things of that nature, there's always some good. There's always something positive, profitable that the Most High wants us to gather in those times of uncertainty. Shabbat Shalom, person time. Good seeing you on with us tonight. And so we wanted to make sure that with everything that's going on, that people don't lose sight of who's in charge. And we talked about on many occasions that one of the main issues is that people believe that when they go into a rough season and with a tough time, that many people start rebuking the devil and start thinking that the devil is responsible for what's happening. Anytime people see chaos, anytime people see pain and all types of uncertainty in the world, people deem that it has to be the devil. But we want to show you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that not only is it not the devil that is in charge of what we've seen going on tonight, if you keep your eyes on the Most High and focus dealing with individually in their own lives. And I had a a meeting of the minds on last night. I try to tell you that I stay linked in with sound counsel, and because of some things that has been transpiring amongst people close to me, um, made a decision to going forward to kind of change the rhetoric and that we're using to make sure. Shabbat shalom, Mother V. Good seeing you on with us tonight. To make sure that we're not isolating people. You understand? We know what the devil is doing. We know what the devil's minions are doing. But we have to be sensitive to the fact that some people are really hurting right now. That some people are really going through some situations. That some people are losing family members. Some people are really sick. So the reality of that situation, causes us to make sure that we don't be part of the problem, but we shine the light on the solution. And the solution, of course, is Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world knows to be Jesus Christ. So tonight, we're going to come in the spirit of the Most High. Through the spirit of the Most High, we pray that we show you, that we encourage you, and that we assist you in not overlooking the lily in your valley. Shabbat shalom to one, good to see you on with tonight. We don't want you to overlook what's there waiting for you in your current valley. And the Most High has been blessing you right now, and things are in the overflow, and you're not going through, all praise. But it's your preparation on the mountaintop that will have you ready for your valley season. Now, this is not part of what we wanted to, but through the Spirit, let's go to Matthew 4 right quick, Deep, and let me show you that a dry season is not always the result of sin or an attack of the devil, right? Before you go to Matthew 4, Deep, go back up to Matthew 3 and give them verse, I think, 16 there.
And when Yeshua, when he was baptized, went up straightway out of the water, and lo, the heavens were opened unto him.
Right.
And he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove, and lighting upon him.
Right.
And lo, a voice from heaven saying, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased."
So I would think, ladies and gentlemen, that on a day when heavens and the Most High honored Yeshua for who he was and made it known to all around who he was, and he was empowered, he was blessed to go forth and do the work, I think that's a pretty good day, right? Right?
Right.
What happened the next day? Go to chapter 4, verse 1. Very next day.
Then was Yeshua led up of the Spirit.
You led up to what?
Up of the Spirit.
No, the devil drawed him there.
Led up of the Spirit.
No, Yeshua sinned and he ended up there.
Led up of the Spirit,
right,
into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
So right now, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to learn and do this lesson that we are experiencing Jacob's trouble. But what we hope that you gather out of this tonight is that some of you that's in your dry season, that have lost your job, that have lost your main source of income, who watch your weekly income go down significantly while your bills are rising, who are isolated, who are not able to gather with your loved ones and your congregations. A lot of you are going to realize, we pray through the Spirit of the Most High, that this was the Most High. I often try to remind people that a lot of times when people have preached Adam and Eve being kicked out of the garden, most people have presented that as a punishment. You would say, I'm in the Garden of Eden, but everything is provided for me, and then I have to go out and work for it. People deem that as a punishment. In actuality, it wasn't. You see, ladies and gentlemen, Adam and Eve had sinned. They had fallen into a sinful state. If they would have partaked from the tree of life, they would have lived in a sinful state for all of eternity. That means not only would Adam and Eve, but everyone that would have came forth from them would have lived lived for eternity in a sinful state. No chance of redemption. No chance of change. No chance of healing. No chance of deliverance. Imagine getting cancer and having to live with cancer forever. Imagine getting your heart broken. Some of you've had your heart broken and having to live with that forever. Imagine some of the most devastating days that you've ever had to experience. Imagine that was your existence forever. So this is what kicking them out of the garden spared Adam and Eve and all those of us who came from them. Oh, so what we hoped, what we hope through the Spirit of the Most High tonight is that you understand and you do not overlook your lily in your valley. Now let's go to Sirach 30. I need you to hold that and get Jeremiah the 5th chapter. And for those of you who don't have an apocrypha, if you have a separate laptop, phone, or tablet, please go onto Google and put in SIRACH, and put it in chapter 30. Don't overlook the lily in your valley. Sirach 30. I need you to hold that and get Jeremiah the 50th chapter. Sirach 30. Let's look at verse 21 to 23 there. Watch this.
And if thou give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel.
Read that for him again, Dick. He says, what?
Give not over thy mind to heaviness.
Give not thy mind over to heaviness. And what else?
And afflict not thyself in thy own counsel.
Ladies and gentlemen, some of you are your own worst enemy. Some of you have been sitting in your home by yourself. You've been watching the television, and you have imagined every most terrible, harmful, awful thing that you could ever imagine in your mind. You've been running it through your mind throughout these last couple of months. You have been driving yourself crazy. You've given your mind over to heaviness. And because you can't do your normal gatherings and you can't do your normal interactions with people, you're not taking on any counsel. You're not taking on anything. You're speaking onto yourself and not allowing anyone else to have a say-so in how your current reality seems. It seems dark. Some of you are even going live and you're posting and you're making it seem as if you're okay, but really you're not. When you talk to your friends, you laugh and you joke about these situations, but really you're not. You've given your mind over to heaviness, and you did, what's that last part he said?
Afflict not thyself.
Afflict not thyself
in thy own counsel.
In thine own counsel. Watch this, verse 22.
The gladness of the heart is the life of man.
Read that again, Deke.
The gladness of the heart.
The gladness of the heart
is the life of man.
Is the life of man. Go ahead.
And the joyfulness of man prolongeth his days.
And the joyfulness of man will prolong his days. So, ladies and gentlemen, the more happy you are, the more joy that you have in your heart, the more guaranteed you to live a long life. Some people, ladies and gentlemen, when bad things happen to them, they're so ready, easy to tap out because they've already been focused on every bad thing that could happen. So when something actually does happen bad, they're ready to just throw it in the towel. Remember, tonight's lesson is entitled, Don't Overlook the Lily in Your Valley. Watch this. Verse 23.
Love thy own soul.
Read it again.
Love thy own soul.
Love thine own soul. Go ahead.
And comfort thy heart.
Mm-hmm.
Remove sorrow far from thee,
Mm-hmm.
for sorrow has killed many.
For sorrow has killed many. Go ahead.
And there is no profit therein.
And there is no profit therein, ladies and gentlemen. Long before a so-called virus hit the world, there was a pandemic going on long before that. It's called depression. It's called low self-esteem. It's called the fact that when you look in that mirror, you see the worst, horrible individual that you could ever see. Some of you are your own worst enemy. Some of you don't need enemies because you hate yourself. You're doing a good enough job hating yourselves. And the sad thing about it is that you love everybody else. You'll do anything for everybody else. You'll give your all for everybody else, but you won't do it for your own self. And I know I've been guilty of that. Another thing that sound counsel has been instructing me to move away from. But I do love myself. Some people do not love themselves at all. They love people more than they love themselves. And that's not healthy. There's an epidemic that's been going on in this country, going on in this world long before a virus entered into it, and that is self-hate. So, ladies and gentlemen, the remedy to a lot of these situations that we have right now is to fully receive the love of who the world knows to be Jesus Christ. But it's got to start with you loving yourself. Because no one would ever love you in the manner that you should until you first love yourself. Because once you love yourself, there will be a level of expectation. There will be a level of demand that will rise up, that you won't just take anything. So right now, the Most High, for some of you, are putting you in this state of isolation for you can actually to understand He loves you. Because with the economy the way it is, the job situation the way it is, the status of what's going on right now, you won't be able to give credit to anything else or anyone else but Him. Don't overlook the lily in your valley. Now, let's go to Jeremiah 50. Let's go to Jeremiah 50. Let's look at verses 4 through 7 there. Jeremiah 50, verse 4 through 7. Let's start at verse 4. Watch this.
In those days and in that time, says the Lord,
saith the Most High,
the children of Israel
shall
come,
uh-huh.
they and the children of Judah together.
And the children of Judah. Now let me remind you guys to understand what this is talking about here. When you go into 1 Kings, the 12th chapter, you see that the nation of Israel split into Israel and Judea, the 10 tribes, and Judah and Benjamin down below. Right? Now, the 10 tribes, Ephraim, who was the so-called Puerto Rican, Manasseh, who was the so-called Cubans, Naphtali, who was the so-called Hawaiians and Samoans and people of the Southern Islands, the so-called Reuben, the so-called Aborigines of Australia, the tribe of Gad, who was the so-called Native Americans, Asher, who's the so-called Colombians and people of Argentina and Venezuela, Zebulun, who's the so-called people of Central America, Panama, Honduras, Costa Rica, those people down there. Issachar, who was the so-called Mexicans. Did we say other two? Let's see. Now you also had, let's see, other two. Zebulun is Gad, Manasseh, Ephraim. Zebulun, Manasseh, Gad. Right. Well, anyway, as he found the other two that was in the northern, then you got Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Right. So I'm only missing 9 of them. I'm only missing one more. Right. So Judah, the so-called black man, the so-called African American man. Levi, the so-called Haitians and the Creoles.
Simeon.
Oh yeah, Simeon is the so-called Dominicans. Okay, that's who I was missing. And Benjamin is the so-called Jamaicans, the people of the West Indies. These people right now, ladies and gentlemen, are in a situation where right now the Most High is bringing them back to their true identity and true heritage. Read that again. Jeremiah 50:4. Watch this.
And in those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping.
Going and weeping.
They shall go and seek the Lord their God.
And seek the Most High their Yah. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, for the past, I would say, 20, 30 years, there's been an awakening, there's been an arising, there's been a shifting amongst these so-called minority groups. Well, they're realizing everything that we've been told, the religions that we was given and the history that we was given is all lies. There's too many holes in it. Right? And they get it too. So what we have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, right now, and this is what we think that we're going through. We think this is a bad thing. We think this is a difficult thing. We think this is the devil attacking us. It's really the Most High using this scenario for his children to come home. But watch this, verse 5.
They shall ask the way to Zion.
They're going to ask the way to where?
To Zion. With their faces thitherward, saying, Come, let us join ourselves to the Lord in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten.
That shall be what?
Not be forgotten.
So now, let me show you how this is happening. Let's go to Baruch, the 2nd chapter. For those who don't have an apocrypha, grab your separate laptop, phone, and tablet. Keep that handy because we're going to be in there tonight. And go back to Google and put in Baruch. Baruch, chapter 2. Now, before you go that deep, read that Jeremiah 50:5 again. Let me show you what's happening. Watch this.
They shall seek the way to Zion.
They shall seek their way to Zion because now we know many of us came through the Christian church. We understand that. Some of us did research and we was searching this and searching this, reading this book, reading that. But whatever way we were doing, we were seeking the Most High. We were seeking to understand Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world knows to be Jesus Christ. We were seeking to understand who we really are. Life got in the way. Family got in the way. Circumstances got in the way. Now, the Most High has took every distraction. He has removed every hindrance. He took the sports away. He took the time away. He took everything away. And now people are forced to reflect. They're forced to make a decision. Because prior to this, lukewarmness was plaguing the earth. Everybody and their mama said they loved God. Everybody and their mama said they was following religion. Everybody and their mama said they was holy and righteous. But you could play the middle ground and no one could really hold you accountable because everybody was kind of wishy-washy. But right now, that line in the sand is getting clearer and clearer by the day. It's being clearer by the way people are treating each other. It's getting clearer about the decisions and the mindset people are projecting. It's getting clearer about now your trust in who you are looking to, whether it be the Most High or whether it be Pharaoh. Watch this. Baruch 2. Start at verse 27. Watch this. Let me show you when this is happening.
O Lord our God, thou hast dealt with us after all thy goodness, and according to all that thine great mercy, great mercy of thine. As thou spakest by the servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to go write thy law before the children of Israel, saying,
what did he say?
If you will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you think it's a coincidence that now our people is known as minorities? Who gave us the title of a minority? Our oppressors. But what they don't understand was the Most High told us this was going to happen to us long before they ever came. So now he got some here, some there. Some of us packed into the communities. We packed into projects and packed into hoods, packed into traps. But before all of this, we was looking at each other as separate. I'm my own minority. You your own. Let me take care of mine. Now, as a result of life, and as an ushering of the Most High Spirit into the earth, people are starting to realize, no, we ain't different. We are the same. But watch this. Verse 30, watch this.
For I knew that they would not hear me.
So he said, listen, I know they weren't going to hear me. I knew it was going to take this, what he's about to show you, in order for us to realize where our hope needs to be. And watch this.
Because it is a stiff-necked people.
Right.
But in the land of their captivity.
But where?
In the land of their captivity.
Captivity?
Captivities.
Captivities. Go ahead.
They shall remember themselves.
They shall remember themselves. You understand? So now, ladies and gentlemen, in the midst of the destruction, in the midst of the captivity, in the midst of everything that's happening, we are remembering ourselves. How are we remembering ourselves? Verse 31.
And they shall know that I am the Lord.
They shall know I am. A higher is the Lord. There you are. Go ahead.
I will give them a heart and ears to hear.
He will do what?
I will give them a heart and ears to hear.
I will give them a heart and an ear to hear. Because what they were telling us was, no, this is some self-delusional movement that's happening. But that's what they said in the 60s. Look at 2020. It's getting stronger and stronger by the day. Watch this. Watch this. Go ahead.
And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity.
We're going to wait till we get back to Jerusalem.
Praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name.
And his name was a higher. Go ahead.
And return from their stiff neck.
And return from their stiff neck.
And from their wicked deeds.
Now notice that all the things have been put down. And what?
For they shall remember the way of their fathers.
They shall remember the ways of their fathers.
Which sinned before the Lord.
We put down that paganism. We put down these holidays. We put down the ways of the world. And we're getting back to the law, statute, commandments of the Most High. Don't overlook the lily in your valley. Watch this. Now go back to Jeremiah 50. Watch this. Shabbat Shalom, Minister Stone. Good seeing you on with us tonight. Watch this. Now read that verse 5 again. Jeremiah 50 and 5. Watch this.
They shall ask the way to Zion.
So now who are we, ladies and gentlemen? That's why I wanted to show you that. Because no longer are we taking man's religion for us to get to the Most High. Okay? The Spirit of the Most High has been released among his people, and we're asking what?
They shall ask the way to Zion.
We're asking our way to Zion.
With their faces thitherward, saying.
Well, we pray now. What direction do we face?
To the east.
We face to the east now. Because we know the law told us to face the east. Go ahead. Watch this.
Come, let us join ourselves to the Lord in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten.
That shall not be forgotten. Watch this, verse 6.
My people have been lost sheep. The shepherds have caused them to go astray.
And because we listen to the teachers and the founders of Christianity, and because many of our leaders in our communities took on the religions of Christianity and the religions of Islam, the religion of Judaism, and the religion of Jehovah's Witnesses, and all these other religions that came out of Europe and came out of the Gentiles. Because some of our people in our communities chose to follow that, which I was one of them. Let me put that out there. We did what?
Their shepherds have caused them to go astray.
As shepherds have caused them to go astray. Go ahead.
They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from the mountains to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. We
forgot our resting place. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 7.
All that found them have devoured them.
What?
And their adversaries say, we offend not.
Why are they saying they offend not?
Because they have sinned against the Lord.
Now, so, with all of this social injustice that's been happening to our people forever in this country, we was always asking ourselves, how is it that they can do to us any kind of way? Multiple witnesses, everybody know they did it, and no one is ever held accountable. Then now we're in this new age with technology where there's cameras, there's cell phone footage, more people stepping up. You got social media. Everyone sees it, yet no one is ever held accountable. It took Congress, ladies and gentlemen, approximately 1 week to pass laws against anyone that that followed the religion of Judaism. Yet, ever since we've left off the so-called plantation in 1865, we have been lynched, hanged, killed, poisoned, and destroyed. Yet there has not been a Congress that was able to come together and pass anti-lynching laws. Read it again.
We offend not because they have sinned against the Lord.
So the Gentiles recognize, ladies and gentlemen, more than we do, that the reason why they're able to do these things is because we're in this position, not because of them, but because of our Yah. And the reason why people have not came to this conclusion, because they refuse to receive who they are. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to Matthew, the 9th chapter. This is what I'm talking about, though. Do not overlook the lily in your valley. And I'm specifically talking to Israel right here. I'm specifically talking for those who understand who you are. The time of pointing fingers and ridicule is over. The Most High has us in fishing season. We must wake up our brothers and sisters by any means necessary. The time is now. Watch this. Matthew the 9th chapter. Let's look at verses 36 through 38 there. Watch this. 36 through 35 to 38. Slocky. Watch this.
And Yeshua went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom and healing every sickness and every disease among the people.
And this is what we've been doing. This is what Israel has been striving to do everywhere we go. Carrying out the true gospel of the Most High, of the Yeshua. But look at this, verse 36.
But when he saw the multitude, he was moved with compassion.
Now he was laughing at them.
He was moved with compassion.
Now he ridiculed them.
He was moved with compassion.
Now he called them dumb and stupid.
He was moved with compassion.
He was moved with compassion. Go ahead.
On them because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd.
So this is what I say to Israel. When you see the people lost, distraught, emotional, hope without hope, overwhelmed, lost, are you looking through the same eyes as a Mashiach? Do you have compassion? Or are you laughing? Are you tearing them down? Are you raining on their parades? Don't overlook the lily in your valley. For many of you right now, the lily in your valley is all of your loved ones, all of the people that's on your social media outlets, all of the people that you work with. You have an opportunity to be light and salt now. We have received more questions and concerns in the last couple of months than we ever could imagine. Now the conversations that we've been wanting to have with people are being sparked by them. So have you given up on your family's reconciliation to the Most High? Have you given up on your neighbor's restoration to the Most High? Have you given up on your people being woke up? Maybe it's because you're looking through the wrong eyes. Maybe it's because some of you are just in a hurry to get back to the ways of Babylon. And not understanding why you were awakened in the first place. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 37.
Then saith he unto his disciples.
And this is what we're saying unto you. Go ahead.
The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few.
But the laborers are few. Israel, we talk about this all the time. Me and my brothers and sisters, Ken and Pastor Ken and Pastor Ron, the Restoration Center. We talk about this all the time. That it's a lot of Israelites walking around this earth. But that remnant is a very small number. Those that could actually be used for the benefits of the kingdom is a very, very select few. Currently. And we know the Most High is awakening the 144,000 and sealing them. But the harvest is plenty. It's right now. So I'm asking some of you right now, are you praying for things to go back to normal? Or are you praying? Read it again. He says what?
The harvest truly is plenteous.
The harvest truly is plenteous.
But the laborers are few.
But the laborers are few. So this is what we should be focused on right now. Verse 38.
Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest that he will send forth laborers into his harvest.
That's need to be our prayers, deep. Not that the basketball season return. Not that things get back straight in time for the NFL season. This should be our prayers. This is the lily in the valley. Shabbat shalom, Ms. Rogers. Good seeing you on tonight. Don't overlook the lily in your valley. Now, let's go to Sirach 11. I need you to hold that and get 1 Corinthians 10. Now, I wanted to start out with just setting some things straight with Israel. Now we're going to talk to you as individuals. But I wanted to just remind the people of what we have the opportunity to do right now. More than we ever have. Is get our family, get our brothers and sisters into the hands of the Most High. Have you seen Better Day? You seen anybody connected to Better Day? You seen anybody this week posting about Easter spanking? You seen anybody talking about that? You seen anybody talking about Good Friday and Easter Sunday? You see us talking about that? But Israel has been relentless in it all week long. You see what I'm talking about? They don't understand. They don't understand what this is about. It's time to get our people. But let's take the night throughout the rest of this lesson. Let's make sure you're taken care of first. We come here to minister to you first. But I wanted to remind you of what's at stake here. Now, let's go to Sirach 11. I need you to hold that and get 1 Corinthians 10. Sirach 11 and 1 Corinthians 10. Sirach 11, D. Just going to get verse 25 there.
In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction.
Mm-hmm.
And in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity.
And this is what we at right now. Read that for me again, D. Watch this.
In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction.
So some of you right now, before all this took place, you was doing really, really good. Everybody was laughing about tax season. Everybody was getting money, getting their checks. Everybody was balling out, and that was a funny, mean thing time. Everybody was having a good time. Fresh off the holidays and everything. Everybody was doing good. Going into Passover. Had a good Purim. Things was pretty sweet. Right? Everybody was getting money. It was all good. So many people wasn't thinking about the time of affliction. This is why I was talking about it, that on the mountaintop is really when you're supposed to be preparing for the valley. And then the valley is the time when you're really supposed to be gearing up and getting stronger spiritually for the mountaintop so that you don't fall into temptation. But because we don't understand how these things work, we're doing these things we're actually hustling backwards. We in the valley and we start preparing and trying to run out and get stuff. And on the mountaintop, we're not even thinking about it. We just going. We're hustling backwards. Remember, when the Most High was bringing the famine onto the earth, he didn't tell Joseph when it was time for plenty time to ball out, did he? He told him during the plenty time to store it up, right? But notice, then when the famine came, who was balling? Joseph. You understand? So we got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that we're operating backwards here. We wait until it's a low period to start trying to scrabble, and then when we're up here, we're not even thinking about it at all. Read it for him again, D. Sirach 11:25. Watch this.
In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. And in a day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity. So
right now, many of you acting as if like the Most High just abandoned you, like he have never done anything for you ever. Because you can't go to the mall, because you can't go to certain things, you can't watch certain things on TV. Some of you like, man, woe is me. Like, how do we be forgetting so fast? You understand? We forget so fast. Now, let me get 1 Corinthians 10:13. 1 Corinthians 10 and verse 13. Watch this.
There has no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man.
Now, some of you right now, you do have some unique situations. I'm not going to sit up and be insensitive to your situations. Okay. Some of you are going through some crazy mess right now. I mean, your world is falling apart. I'm not going to be insensitive to that. That's real. Some of you are really going through it. But read it again. He says what?
There is no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man.
So what I want you to understand, though, just because your situation is real, it doesn't mean like ain't nobody else going through it as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I keep reminding people, stop getting caught up in people's social media highlight reels. Listen, the only people who are going live all the time are people who have to convince you of who they're trying to convince someone of something. Okay? Because they can't take time for themselves. They got to be constantly in front of a camera to get some type of gratification. That's the reason why they go live all the time. Don't be fooled by that. Some of these people that's going live all the time are crying themselves to sleep every night. But as long as they can convince people that they're straight, hey, it's all good. Listen, everybody's hurting in one way or another. Okay? Everybody's hurting one way or another. Okay? But this is what I need you to see. Go ahead.
But God is faithful.
But the Most High is faithful.
Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape.
So, ladies and gentlemen, whatever your current situation is, if the Most High has not delivered you out of it, that means you can take it. He's not going to destroy his son or his daughter. He's not going to allow you to be consumed. Stop looking at the day and remember, ladies and gentlemen, what has been done. Listen, the only time we should really be reflecting is when you can reflect on all the Most High has done. And you got to start realizing if he's done this before, if he brought you out of this impossible situation that you thought you never was going to come out of, this heartbreak you never thought you was going to overcome, this deliverance that you never was going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, if he has done it before, he's going to do it now. The question is the question never is, can he do it? The question is always, do you believe him enough to get it done? You understand? Tonight's lesson is entitled, Don't Overlook the Lily in Your Valley. Now, let's go to Luke, the 10th chapter. We're skipping that middle part. That first part took a little longer, so I'm skipping that part there. Let's go to Luke, the 10th chapter. I need you to hold that and get Psalms 137. All right. We did a over 3 hour Q&A Tuesday night. We're not doing the 3 hours tonight. Even though I know T's locked and loaded for that 3 hour list. Oh yeah, by the way, TZ, we are ready to meet too, by the way. T said, man, you was on 2.5. You sticking to that meet now. Y'all, boy, some of y'all be complaining, well, y'all could have dealt with me back in the day, them early days of that truth. This be the foundation. Hey man, let's get Luke the 10th chapter. I need you to hold that and get Psalms 137. All right, don't overlook the lily in your valley. Luke 10. Let's start there at verse 16. Watch this.
He that heareth you heareth me,
Mm-hmm.
and he that despiseth you despiseth me,
Mm-hmm.
and he that despiseth me despiseth him that sent me.
Now let's read that again. Let's break this thing down, because I want to remind Israel again, as we talked about in the outset, of that we have to have the compassion mindset of Hamashiach, and we got to start seeing things through his eyes. And some of you right now, you're so focused on those who don't listen, who don't care, who don't want to hear what you have to say, that you're going to talk yourself out of actually being available for those who will hear, who will listen, who have been noticing and watching you the whole entire time. You understand? So watch what he says here. Look at what he says, verse 16.
He that heareth you heareth me.
So if anyone is hearing what you have to say, they're not hearing you, they're hearing him. You understand? They're hearing him. Stop making it about you. Stop making it about you. Say what he tells you to say. Pray what he tells you to pray. Live this way he wants you to live. Treat people in the manner that he said, and let him get the glory. Watch this. Go ahead.
And he that despiseth you despiseth me.
So if they have a problem with what you're saying, they have a problem with the way that you're living, they don't have a problem with you. They have a problem with him. They just don't have enough guts to say it. And this is an understanding that we had to come to. When you open in the scripts and you're reading the Bible and you're saying, look, this is what it says. And if somebody's saying, I don't believe that, I don't care what you say, you didn't write it, so it has nothing to do with you. Don't overlook your lily in the valley. There's somebody out there that's waiting for you to come. There's someone that's counting on your life. They're counting on your growth. They're counting on your understanding. They're counting on your witness. Right? Watch this. Go ahead.
And he that despiseth me despiseth him that sent me.
And when they despise the Hamashiach, they really hate the Most High. Those that are against the law say, I ain't keeping that law. They act like they really hurting you by saying they're not keeping it. You gotta take that up with the Most High. I didn't write it. And this is the perspective that you must take. Not from an arrogant perspective, but understanding that you're not responsible. Watch this. Verse 17.
And the 70 returned again with joy, saying, Lord, even the devils are subject unto us through thy name.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy.
Some of the power of the enemy.
All the power of the enemy.
Every now and then.
All the power of the enemy.
The enemy might get you.
All the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you.
Do you understand what you have? let me show them even deeper. Deep. Let's go to 1 John 1. 1 John 4. I don't. That's what y'all better understand, man. The devil's a defeated foe, man. Y'all giving credit to a guy that's done. That guy's finished. Okay, he's over. It's over for that guy. No, you get no credit, no time spent thinking about no defeated foe, man. That dude's done. Right? You have to understand that. 1 John 4, verse 4. Watch this.
Ye are of God.
Ye are of the Most High. Go ahead.
Little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you.
Greatest is Yeshua that is in you
than he that is in the world.
Than the devil that's in the world. You understand? Listen, that dude's done. He don't have no power over you that you don't give him. Now, go back there, Luke 10 chapter. Now, understanding that you have the power over the devil. Understanding that no weapon formed against you can prosper. Understanding that no sickness can come near your dwelling, according to Psalms 91. Understanding that anything that happens to you, you're able to rise over and walk out the victory. But see, that's not what you need to be focused on. This is what your mindset needs to be on at all times. Verse 20.
Notwithstanding in this, rejoice not.
Don't rejoice in this. Because once you start being arrogant and start boasting in something that Yeshua is doing for you, you'll lose sight and start thinking that it's you. So don't get caught up in that. This is what your focus needs to be. This is where your joy, your peace need to be in this. Watch this.
Notwithstanding in this, rejoice not, that the spirits are subject unto you.
But rather do what?
Rather rejoice because your names are written in heaven.
That's need to be what your focus is in. Making sure and being encouraged that your name is where?
Written in heaven.
You see that? So some of you right now may be dealing with some situations. But no, whatever the case may be, what?
Your names are written in heaven.
Your name is written in heaven. You understand? Do not overlook the lily of your valley. Now, let's get Psalms 137. Watch this. Okay? Get Psalms 137. We're going to cut a lot of this out, dude. Okay? We're going to keep it short tonight. Unless you got another 4 hours in you. Come on, fam. Doing what I'm at every Friday, y'all. What are we doing, man? Psalms 137. And let's start at verse 1.
By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept when we remembered Zion.
Read that again.
By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down.
Shabbat shalom. Hey, good seeing you on with us tonight. But read it for him one more time. Psalms 137, verse 1. Watch this.
By the rivers of Babylon.
By the rivers of where?
By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down.
There we sat down.
Yea, we wept when we remembered Zion.
When we remember what?
Zion.
Now, I'm going to settle something, ladies and gentlemen, tonight for many of you. Because amongst a lot of your Christian brothers and sisters, a lot of your family, when you have been telling the people that you're from the children of Israel and that you're from the tribe of Judah and that you have nothing to do with the religion of Christianity and that you know that Deuteronomy 28 talks about your coming to American slave ships, the real reason why many of them have rejected it because they can't look in a book and see the word of America. They don't understand. And the reason why they don't understand that is because the Bible has been taught from a 1900, 2000 perspective and not even understand when these scriptures were written. Most of the longest date, the latest date on most of the scriptures is around 60 AD. They don't understand that concept. So this is how a lot of the authors and the teachers of Christianity has utilized the scriptures to manipulate what they want people to do today because they interject the world today into the scriptures versus interjecting the world of yesterday into today. Right? So we're going to prove to you tonight that don't overlook the lily in your valley, because right now a lot of you are talking about what's happening in America. We know to be the daughter of Babylon. We know to be Sodom and Egypt. You understand? And so we're going to prove to this tonight and show you what these scriptures talk about. This was a prophecy given to David that was prophesying our captivity in America. Why are we bringing this out? You said I'm talking about the lily in the valley. You talked about going to encourage me. Well, I'm going to encourage you through the fact of the matter that the Most High spoke to David long before America existed, and he encouraged us what to do while we were here. You understand? Watch this. Read that again for him. Psalm 137, verse 1. Look at what he said.
By the rivers of Babylon.
By the rivers of Babylon.
There we sat down.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, we wept when we remembered Zion.
When we remember what?
Zion.
Now, let me remind some of you that some of you younger people may not have enough years on you to remember this, but some of us that are older, or those who got raised in a Baptist or Zion church, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. The predominantly of the scripture of the songs, Salakia, that were sung in those churches, all talked about either Jerusalem or Zion, were written by our people. Come by here, Lord, which is really kumbaya, which in Hebrew means come by here. God, Yah means God of power. Jordan River, I'm bound across. Right? Hallelujah. Right? We can go on and on and on. All of these songs are singing about Jerusalem that was written by slaves on the plantation, yet none of them had never went to Jerusalem. Why were they doing that? I'm going to show you tonight. And if you understand that what you need to see here is that the Most High knew we were going to end up where we are and sent encouragement a long distance call away. You understand? Watch this. Verse 2.
We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof.
We hang them where?
Upon the willows in the midst thereof.
Now, for those who may not believe us, we're going to give you some secular information to prove this. Now, D, I want you to put into the box, we're going to send you a link to prove to you where the willow trees are indigenous to, which means where you can find them and where you can't. Okay? Now, while he's doing that, I'm going to read to you what you're going to see on the site in which we're sending you. Yeah, I know, but YouTube, you guys are just going to have to trust me. Okay? Now, you can also research it yourself. Okay? What we gave them was softschools.com, www.softschools.com. But you can find it anywhere. We just want to find something quick for them to be able to see it. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, do that. Now, what you will see is this. The plant originates from China, but can be found throughout the northern hemisphere, Europe, Asia, and where? North America. Now, what your apologetics and your theologians will say, before we actually prove this through the Bible, they'll say, well, you know, that Babylon, that was talking about, you know, the captivity that they went through with under Nebuchadnezzar. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the landmass of Babylon is what we know today to be Iraq. Iraq is not in Asia, it's not in Europe, and it's not in North America. Okay. All right. Okay. So we understand that this one reference right here, historically and secular information, proves to us that this Babylon had to be in one of those areas, and none of them, the willows had to be in one of those areas, and none of them reference Babylon except America. And America is known in the book of the Revelations as the daughter of Babylon. But we're going to also prove that right here in the Bible, that it couldn't have been talking about the people that Nebuchadnezzar. Right? Now, watch this. Verse 3.
For there they carried us away captive, required of us a song.
Mm-hmm.
And they that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion.
Jordan River, I am bound across. I got one more river to cross. This is what our ancestors were singing in America. Were they not? Go ask your grandmothers. Ask your great uncles and the older people of your churches and your communities. This is what they used to be singing. And we used to be sitting in church as kids listening to this and like, what has this got to do with us? It had to do everything to do with us. Watch this. Verse 4, this was the encouragement. This is the inspiration that David, through the Spirit of the Most High, sent to us while we were here. Watch this. Verse 4.
How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land?
Now, first of all, how in the world is David talking about Babylon? Let's do that first. When David was on the scene, Babylon was not a nation. Okay, that's the first thing you need to see. Secondly, Babylon was not a strange land for the people of Judea that ended up going to captivity there. Everybody knew of Babylon. So the only way it could be a strange land would have had to be a land in which they had never heard of and never been to. America. Now, the question was, how can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? But look at what David said, verse 5.
If I forget thee,
O
Jerusalem,
Jerusalem,
let my right hand forget her kindness.
if I don't remember where I came from, then let my right hand be of no use. See, you don't understand the meaning of that right hand because the Most High said he would deliver his people with his righteous hand. You understand? Watch this. Verse 6.
If I do not remember thee,
let
my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth.
Right?
If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy.
If I prefer not what?
If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy.
This is why our ancestors, when they were getting beat and whipped by the so-called white man, they were still thinking about Jerusalem. They couldn't beat it out of them. What are we saying? Yes, it's rough. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, you have to change. Yes, you have to lose. But what? Read it again.
If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem.
If I prefer not what?
Jerusalem above my chief joy.
Above my chief joy. Every other little thing that I've been dealing over here in America that made me happy, I'm not going to get caught up in this captivity no more. My mind and my eyes is on Jerusalem. And parents, your eyes and your mind better be on Jerusalem because you better be raising a generation that is ready to get out of here so they don't fall victim to the plagues of Revelation 13, Revelation 18. Don't overlook the lily in your valley. Let us prove that they won't talk about. Let's prove they won't talk about Nebuchadnezzar. Verse 7.
Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
The children of who?
The children of Edom.
The children of who?
The children of Edom.
Now we know that Nebuchadnezzar was a white man. We know he wasn't from the line of Edom. So they couldn't be talking about Babylon of the past. They had to be talking about Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, which you're going to see in a verse in a second. The so-called white man. Rome. Watch this. Read it again. He says what?
Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
Who destroyed Jerusalem in 70 AD? Rome. Edom. How did David know that? How did David know that? Think about it. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 8.
O daughter of Babylon.
Oh, who?
O daughter of Babylon.
So notice They're being Pacific now. Oh, who?
O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed.
Who ought to be what?
Be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
Serve who?
Served us.
Y'all see that? Don't overlook the lily in your valley. You're focusing on what they're doing to us and not understanding that vengeance is the Most High. They already dealt with it. You need to make sure that you're dealing with you, that you're getting you together, that you're getting your children ready. Don't overlook the lily in the valley. Watch this. Verse 9.
Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone.
It is so. God.
God.
Don't overlook the lily in your valley. Now, let's go to Genesis 22. We're going to end off in Isaiah 54. Let's go to Genesis 22. This is what all of this was building up to, what I need you guys to see here. I know some of you are going through some rough times, as we talked about on the outset. You're dealing with all type of loss. Some of you have been sick. Some of you have been struggling. Some of you deal with all type of loss. You deal with loved ones leaving. I'm talking about all kind of stuff. Relationships falling apart. And now this. And you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that the Most High sees you. He understands. Listen. Matter of fact, before we go there, the Spirit said go here. Go to Hebrews 4. Go to Hebrews 4. Because I think sometimes that we think that Yeshua doesn't understand you. You think because of the great things he's done, the great things that he's doing, that he doesn't understand you. Let me show you that he understands you. Give me Hebrews 4:15.
For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities.
Read it again.
For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities.
Listen. Do you understand that in Luke the 22nd chapter, that Yeshua, when faced with what he had to deal with, prayed so hard that he wouldn't have to deal with it, that he dropped sweats of blood from his pores? You think you prayed hard that some situation go away? Ain't none of you ever had to pray so hard that you started bleeding out your pores. So people may say, I understand, and they don't. They may think they relate, they be concerned, but people don't. We say those things to make the ones that we're talking to feel better. No one understands fully the pain that someone is feeling. But read it again. Hebrews 4:15 says what?
We have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are.
But at some points.
At all points.
Now he just went through a few things.
At all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin.
Yet what was I saying? The only difference between him and us, that he never sinned. He dealt with doubt. He dealt with pain. He dealt with struggle. He dealt with feeling up, feeling down. He got abandoned. He had to deal with loss. At all points, you're not in this alone. You're not in this alone. Don't overlook the lily in your valley. I want you guys to really, really lock in as we go through this. There's going to be some very important information. I hope you guys are writing this stuff down. Lock in and hear what thus says the Most High. Genesis 22. And let's read verse 1.
And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am.
Now, in your own time, it would be a good idea to start back at Genesis 12. Now, yeah, just start back at Genesis 12 and just read up one day to everything that he went through. When Abraham started out on this journey, he was 75 years old. The promise that he was made didn't manifest in his life until he was 100. So some of you think you've been having to wait for a long time. Try waiting 25 years. Now I have another question for you. Do you have 25 years to wait? Some of you need deliverance right now. And we need to follow the Father faith's pattern, the faith blueprint to get what he got. Let me remind you, he didn't have no Bible. Let me remind you that he didn't have the Holy Spirit. Let me remind you that he didn't have an elder to come on and talk to him or a church to go attend to on the Sabbath. His relationship with the Most High depended strictly upon themselves. You understand? Now, before we get into these scriptures, I want you to imagine the thing that you've waited the longest on the Most High to bring to your life. Whether it be your child, whether it be your job, whether it be the person that you're married or your person you're engaged with, or some of you are still waiting on child. Some of you are still waiting on your husband. Some of you are still waiting on your wife. Some of you are believing the Most High for the provision for your business or your ministry. Some of you have a sickness or something that's been plaguing you for a while and you're waiting on the deliverance and the healing to manifest. Whatever it is that you need the most in your life. I want you to imagine that you waited forever, which some of you did. And that day finally came. And as soon as it came, verse 2.
And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I will tell thee of.
I want to let that sink in for a second. He waited 25 years for a son. The person, the Most High, the God that told him he was going to have it, brought it to pass through the most difficult situation possible. I'm going to show you that. I was just going to precept to tell you about it, but I need you to read it. I need you to see it. Because all this plays in the fact of believing it. As we stated the other night during the Q&A, nobody waits until a rainstorm to go buy an umbrella. You go and buy the umbrella so that you have it when it rains. A lot of people, unfortunately, right now are looking for umbrellas, and the stores are sold out. And so a lot of you, some of you are getting soaked in your own storm right now because you wasn't prepared. And it's okay. Because that water right now is going to water the seas. And you're going to watch these things manifest as you come through it. Just keep driving. The sun's going to come out. Just keep walking. Just keep going. So what I need you to understand is you've waited forever. You believed the Most High forever. And the person that you believed it for is the one that's saying, no, I need that back. Let me get that. Read the last part of verse 1 again, though, what he said.
You said the first part.
The last part of verse 1.
And said unto Abraham, and
I'm sorry, in the middle right there, we say what he was doing.
And God did tempt Abraham.
He did what?
God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am.
Now, let's go to James, the first chapter. Because I want you to understand that there's a difference between testing and tempting. The devil tempts. The Most High tests. That word there is improperly translated to tempt because I'm going to show you that and prove it through the scripts. That's the reason why we're going here. James 1. Before you get there to James 1, read that verse 2 again in Genesis 22 and 2. Read that again I need them to take this all in at the same time.
And he said, take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of.
So he told him in layman terms, you got to go sacrifice your son. The son that you waited for 25 years, the one that I promised you that would come. Now I need you to go sacrifice him. But the key thing is to remember that he said it was a test. The Bible uses the word tempt, but I want to show you that it's actually a test. James 1, verse 12. Watch this.
Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life.
Notice there that the word temptation and then it says try. That shows you that's a test. That's not a temptation. That's a test. Because when he is what?
For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to them that love him.
To who?
To them that love him.
Them that love him, and we know 1 John 5 and 3 said, them that love him do what? Keep his commandments. I wanted to make sure I brought that out. Now, this was a commandment. See that? Now, go back to Genesis 22. I didn't want to go off on the other side. I was going to go off on that, but I didn't want to be confused. Read verse 2 again. Read 1 and 2 again.
And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him,
right,
Abraham, and he said, behold, here I am. And he said, take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of.
Now, let's go down. Let's go to Genesis 15. And I want to show you these things because I was just going to say them and give you the scriptures, but you need to see them for yourself. You have to understand what the process of building your faith up and what it has to take. Like I said, many people are waiting to the time of the storm. You're waiting to your valley to get faith when you need to have the faith built up ready. Right? You understand? Nobody needs to go get gas like I do when your tank is empty. You understand? Go get the gas before it's empty. Right? Don't fall. Don't be like me, driving around with a gas light broke. Right? And just at the mercy, you just got to live by faith. No. No. Don't want to do like that. So let me show you. Before you see what happened, I need you to understand that he was given the necessary tools to do the right thing with this test. If you don't receive these times, you won't pass your test. You will overlook your lily in your valley. Genesis 15. And let's start at verse 1. Watch this.
After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram.
Now, notice right here, his name is Abram. It hasn't became Abraham yet. I'm going to show you that in a minute. That's very important. Verse, go ahead.
Unto Abram in a vision, saying, fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceedingly great reward. And Abram said, Lord God, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless?
Go ahead.
And the steward of my house is this Eleazar of Damascus. And Abram said, behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, this shall not be thine heir.
Listen, that guy over there, he's a good guy. I respect him. He's all good, but he's not your heir. Go ahead.
But he that shall come forth out of thy own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad and said, look now toward heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. And he believed in the Lord and counted it to him for righteousness.
So whatever the Most High told him. Now you're going to see something very key when we go over to Genesis 18 that I didn't want to bring out until then. He goes over to Genesis 18. It's like he tells them, listen, you see them stars up in the heaven? That's what your seed going to be. and he believed it, regardless of his current situation. Mindful. Watch this. Now, go to Genesis 17. And let's see. I want to show you what his name changed. Okay, started Genesis 17 and started verse 1. Let's read it all the way down.
And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thou perfect.
So right now, this is 24 years later from Genesis 12. He's 99. Still no child. Watch this. Verse 2.
And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
Notice he still ain't got no child yet. It's 24 years later. And he keeps telling him, you're going to be the father of many nations. Right? Because the Most High don't deal in the present. He deals with what he's already said. That's the way we have to operate. Whatever the Most High says has to be the final say so, regardless of what you're currently seeing. I hope this is building you up to what we need to get to. Pay close attention here. Watch this. Verse 5.
Neither shall their name any more be called Abram,
right?
But their name shall be Abraham, for father of many nations have I made thee.
And
I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
Now y'all see that? Then he changed his name unto Abraham. And that Abraham means father of many nations. So coming around in about time where it's time to actually get what he needed, the Most High said, now I'm going to have everybody call you what you are in the spirit before it actually manifests in the flesh. You see that? So this is why, ladies and gentlemen, you can't wait until you see something to declare it. People may laugh at you. People may clown you. People may ridicule you. But if the Most High said what is yours, it is yours. Regardless of what everybody else got to say something about it. Now, go to Genesis 18. Just taking you through this process up until Genesis 22. It's very important. Genesis 18. And let's start at verse 9.
And they said unto him, where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, behold, in the tent.
Now, so these angels and the angel of the Lord, who we know to be Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world know to be Jesus Christ, came unto Abraham when he was in a tent, chilling. And he said, where's your wife? Verse 10.
And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according the time of life, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind
He
him.
said, listen, I'm going to return in a little while. And your wife, she's gonna have a child. I'm gonna come back in the right time. When the Most High says it, she's gonna have a child. Watch this. Look at verse 11. It's very important.
Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to go with Sarah after the manner of woman.
Y'all see that? So Abraham is old, and Sarah not even having a period anymore. So is physically unable to do this. See that? So some of you right now are worried about what you can physically accomplish. You can do through your money and your credit scores and all of who you got on the support team. Right? That's where your focus is. Most I ain't thinking about none of that. Now, before we go back to keep going. I want to see something else. Verse 12.
Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also.
He said, like some of you be laughing. Like some of the people that's laughing at you. Laugh like, boy, them boys tripping, man. We the children of Israel, man. Them boy wild. Because you can't never imagine yourself being nothing but a slave. So it seems funny when somebody tell you the chosen people. You can't imagine yourself doing nothing but struggling. You can't fathom that you're going to be walking in the overflow. But watch this. Look what his answer was. Verse 13.
And the Lord said unto Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I out of surety bear a child which am old?
Mm-hmm.
Is anything too hard for the Lord?
Read it again.
Is anything too hard for the Lord?
Read it again.
Is anything too hard for the Lord?
Right.
At the time appointed, I will return unto thee according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son.
You see that? So, ladies and gentlemen, then give me Numbers 23 and 19. See, ladies, hold your place there in Genesis 22. Give me Numbers 23 and 19. See, ladies and gentlemen, some of you right now are wanting something before it's your time. Okay? You're wanting it to happen before it's time. And it's not going to happen until it is his time. He doesn't move by impatience. He doesn't move by worry. He doesn't move by anything else other than his word. You will not receive anything. Nothing will manifest until it is time for the Most High to give it. Numbers 23 and 19. Watch this.
God is not a man that he should lie.
Yah is not a man that he should lie.
Neither the son of man that he should repent.
He will never tell you that he's going to do something for you and then have to come back and say, my bad. He will never have to repent. Go ahead.
Has he said and shall not do it?
Has he said it and shall not do it?
Or has he spoken and shall not make it
Has
good?
he spoken and shall not make it good? So whatever he has told you, don't be caught up in what you're currently seeing and overlook the lily in your valley. Now, watch this. Back to Genesis 22. Now that you've taken all of that in, let's start from the beginning again. Genesis 22, verse 1. Watch this.
And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, behold, here I am.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I will tell thee.
Mm-hmm. Verse 3.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning.
Now Abraham slept in.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning.
Now Abraham couldn't sleep because he was worried about it.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning.
Now Abraham called his pastor and see what his pastor had said about it.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning.
Abraham went and talked it over with Sarah to see how she felt about it.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning.
Abraham hit up Eleazar and a couple of his boys get 2 or 3 witnesses.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning.
Abraham rose up early in the morning. I'm going to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that once again, he was told to do something that he did not want to do, but there was no hesitation. He wasn't saying, I'm going to sit back and wait until I can see it. I'm waiting on the Spirit to confirm it. Let the Lord send a prophet. All of the excuses that we come up with. He did what?
And Abraham rose up early in the morning,
right,
and saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up, and went unto the place of which God had told him.
Mm-hmm.
And on the 3rd day.
And then when?
On the 3rd day.
Notice how with the Most High, all these things are always on the 3rd day. Bet you what the Sabbath. Now listen. Imagine having to do. Remember, that's why I told you to try to imagine the greatest thing that you've ever waited on the Most High to do for you, right? And then now you got to give it up. Then he tells you to go somewhere, but you don't know exactly where you're going, and you got to follow his spirit to get there. And it takes you 3 days to get there. Do you imagine what's on his mind the whole way? How many times he thought about turning around? He's about to go sacrifice his son, ladies and gentlemen, a son that he waited 25 years for. But don't overlook your lily in the valley. Stay with me. Stay with me. Watch this. Read it again. Verse 4. It says what?
Then on the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off.
Mm-hmm.
And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here.
Abide ye here.
With the donkey.
Right.
And I and the lad will go yonder and worship and come again to you.
Read that again. Listen to what he's saying, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to what he's saying. Look at what he's saying. Go ahead.
And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the donkey.
Listen, y'all stay here with the donkey. With the donkey, go ahead.
And I and the lad.
Me and the lad
will go yonder.
To do what?
And worship.
And to do what?
And worship.
See, let me stop there. See, a lot of people, ladies and gentlemen, have equated worship with what you do in church on the Sunday. Or for my Israelites who worship on the Sabbath, you have equated worship to what you do at the Sabbath gathering. No. Worship, ladies and gentlemen, is your complete obedience and honor to the Most High because of who He is, regardless of the circumstance. This is the first mention of the word worship. And notice that it came on the worst day of Abraham's life that he called going to do that worship. Would you call the worst day of your life worshiping the Most High? Would you call burying a loved one worship? Would you call shutting down your business the day your business shut down, or the day your church shut down, or the way your husband walked away, or your wife walked away, or the boyfriend and the girlfriend that you thought was going to marry you walked away? Would you call that worship? Would you call the day that you got to check your child into the hospital? Would you call that worship? Go back to Genesis 2, Genesis 22 and 2. Read that again. What he told him to do.
And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee. He said,
go offer him as a burnt offering. That's what the Most High told him to do. Now let's read verse 5 again. What he told the young people he was about to go do. What he told them.
And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the donkey, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship and come again to you.
And come again to you. He has no answers. The only thing he has is what he's been told. Are y'all seeing this? He knows going up that mountain, he got to offer him as a burnt offering. But he also knows that the Most High said, you will be a father of many nations. So he's putting it together here and say the only way that the Most High is going to honor his word, when he's not a man that he should lie, nor a son of man that he has to repent, the only way he's going to honor that is me and Isaac both got to come down this mountain. And I don't know what he told you. But whatever it is he told you, you can't let your current situation make you overlook what he has said. You understand? Do not overlook your lily in your valley. Watch this. Watch this, D. Watch this. Verse 7. 6 like verse 6.
And Abraham took the wood.
He took the wood
of the burnt offering,
right,
and laid it upon Isaac, his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together.
Imagine that walk, D. You mind walking up that hill with BC? Imagine that walk, D.
It's rough.
Listen to this. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 7.
And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, my father, and he said, here I am. Here I am, my son. And he said, behold the fire and the wood.
I see the fire. I see the wood. Go ahead.
But where is the lamb for a burnt offering?
He said, listen. Hold on. Father, because this ain't the first time. Abraham been doing these offers his whole life. He said, look, I see the fire. I see the wood. But where's the lamb? Some of you got people ask you the questions like, I see the bills. I see the bank account. What we gonna do? I see all of this, but I don't see no answers. I'm looking at the news, and I don't see no change. They're still killing us. They're still destroying us. Now we're the face of the virus. What are we gonna do? Watch this. Watch this. Look at what his answer was. Verse 8.
And Abraham said, my son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together.
Read it again, D. Let's do this, man.
And Abraham said, my son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering.
Read it. Go back to verse 2. What did the Most High say in verse 2?
And he said, take now thy son, thy only son.
No,
Isaac,
go get your lamb and take it up there.
Thy only son Isaac.
No, take him up there, but I got a lamb for you.
Thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah,
right?
And offer him there for a burnt offering.
No, don't offer him. I got a lamb waiting.
Offer him there for a burnt offering.
No, offer the lamb.
Offer him there for a burnt offering.
Offer him. Offer him. Read verse 8 though. What did he say?
And Abraham said, my son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together.
I don't think y'all understand, man. I'm not ready to run to a wall in here. I hope you're hearing this. Do not overlook the lily of your valley. Watch this. Verse 9.
And they came to the place which God had told him of, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand.
Now hold up. Go back and read verse 9 again.
And they came to the place which God had told him of.
Now, the Most High is saying right now to tell someone, the reason why you have not seen the manifestation of what I told you is because you refuse to take the last steps in which I told you to go. Thus says the Most High, you are trying to receive something in a place where I told you not to get it. So you over here when I told you to go over there. Because if they went out in the field where a bunch of lambs was at, I'm pretty sure that he could find a lamb to sacrifice. Some of you talking about I'm waiting on my Boaz, I'm waiting on my root, but you over here with Delilah's, and you over here with what's the dude that Jesus they let go? Barabbas. You over there with Barabbas is. You over there hanging around with Barabbas and hanging around with Delilah, talking about you gonna get your Boaz and your root. You want the situation comfortable for you. That's just the Most High. You won't take the finished steps. You want to go halfway. You worried about what everybody's looking around. You worried about the last coming up the mountain, seeing you with the knife over your son and what they're going to think. Read it again. You said what?
And they came to the place which God had told him of.
So he came to the place right there. I'm not going to go one step behind. I'm not going to go one step over. I'm going to go right to the place. I'm going to follow everything he said to the T. I'm going to dot my I's. I'm going to cross my T's. I'm going to check pronunciations. I'm going to do everything he said to the T. Go ahead.
And Abraham built an altar there and laid the wood in order and bound Isaac his son.
No, I'm going to let him loose so maybe he can run in a nick of time.
And bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar.
And laid him on the altar.
Upon the wood.
Right.
And Abraham stretched forth his hand.
No, I'm going to sit here and wait for the lamb to show up first.
And Abraham stretched forth his hand.
Right.
And took the knife to slay his son.
But what?
And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, here I am.
Verse 12.
And he said, lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing that thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Most High is telling me to tell some of you right now is that you think this test is about the Most High. It has nothing to do with him. He knows who you are. Before he formed you in his mother's womb, he knew you. And before you came forth up out of your mother's, he already has sanctified you. He knows what you're going to do and what you're not. But that says the Most High higher, you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. Because you have defined yourself based on a credit score. You have defined yourself by your house and your cars and your clothes and your jewels. You define yourself, man, of what woman was standing next to you. You were defining yourself, ladies, of what man called you his. You were defining yourself by an education. You were defining yourself by accomplishments. And now I'm taking all of it, moving it all out of the way, get it all out of the way. So you're script butt naked. And the only thing is you and me. The test is for you. So that you know who you are. Because once you guys get through this valley, ain't gonna never be another dry season ever. You're gonna be walking on hills now. You're gonna be walking on them. This is what is waiting on some of you. And what I need you to see is that if you stop having these pity parties and stop doing this woe is me and going on social media trying to get everybody to believe in you and supporting you and to stand with you, and just know that the Most High is there, and trust that he says what he's going to do what he says, and just go. Just go do it. So now I know. But the question is really now he knows. Do you know? Look at this. Look at this. Look at verse 13. Watch this.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horn.
Read it again, Dave.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horn.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not overlook your lily in your valley. If he wouldn't have came to the exact spot, if he'd have been sitting there crying and talking about woe is me, if you would have never tied his son up, put the wood there, and draw that sword back, that ram would have never been there. The ram was there the whole time. It just hadn't manifested. It wasn't until he drew the sword, drew the knife. Read it again, verse 13.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes.
Once he lifted up his eyes, after he had done everything, he has followed it all the way to the end. He didn't skip a step. He took every step that he told him to go. And then what?
And looked.
Then he looked. Then he looked. Then he looked. Some of you are looking around, but you haven't been obedient yet. You're looking for a way out, and you haven't done what he told you to do yet. It ain't going to manifest until you do what you've been told to do. Some of you would have been walking up that mountain looking for the ram the whole time. Where's the ram? Where's the ram? No. No manifestation of what you need until you are 100% obedience. It wasn't until he got to where he needed to get that he did everything that the Most High told him to do. And then what happened?
And looked.
And looked.
And behold.
And behold.
Behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son.
In the stead of his son. Don't overlook the lily in your valley. Don't overlook it. Now, let's send this thing off. Isaiah 54. Jeez. As my daddy said, who would trust a God like that? Man, I hope y'all hearing what thus says the Most High now. I hope y'all hearing it. I hope this is encouraging y'all, man. Y'all understand, man. The Most High, man. Listen, man. He loves us, Israel. He loves us. He loves us, Israel. He loves us. Watch this. Watch this. Let me get that. Isaiah 54, verse 1. Watch this.
Sing, O barren, thou that didst not bear.
He said what?
Sing, O barren, thou that didst not bear.
So sing, O barren. Those that did not bear, those who haven't produced anything, those who have not received the fruits of their labor. Go ahead.
Break forth into singing.
Break forth into singing.
And cry aloud. Thou that didst not travail with child.
There are those who don't have no children. I'm talking about spiritual manifestation of what you've been asking for. Watch this.
For more are the children of desolate than the children of the married wife, saith the Lord.
Y'all see that? So he's telling you right now, there's more children of my people over here that are suffering, that are struggling, that are desolate, that are without, that are hungry, that are naked, that are going through every plague that are Deuteronomy 28, than those who are walking in the blessing. He said, I know that. Watch this, verse 2.
Enlarge the place of thy tent.
So he said, now listen, I know what it's been. Okay. I know what it's been. But now go ahead and enlarge your place of the tent. You said, what? We on lockdown. I ain't got no job. Read it again.
Enlarge the place of thy tent.
No, man, the economy is bad. It's terrible, man. What are you talking about? Go ahead.
Enlarge the place of thy tent, and let them stretch forth the curtains of thine habitations. Spare not. Lengthen thy cords and strengthen thy stakes.
Because I got some stuff. Go ahead and make some room. Israel. Because everything that the nations have taken from you is about to return unto you. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that when our ancestors left out of Egypt, they didn't leave without nothing. You understand? See, in the Christian church, matter of fact, hold on one second. Let me show y'all this. Let me show y'all this real quick. Let me look at my notes real quick. 1 second. Give me Proverbs 13 and 22. Hold your place there. Let me show y'all something real quick. This scripture is probably going to make a whole lot more sense. Some of you probably heard it 1,000 times. Right? This is what I need my parents and grandparents, elders and leaders of the community to start understanding. There's a lot of the things that will be decreed you may not fully see the manifestation of. But if you do it correctly and walk it and teach those coming behind you correctly, your descendants, your sons, your children's children will receive it. Watch this. Me Proverbs 13 and 22. Watch this.
A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children.
Now, many of you are focused on, and this is a good thing, don't misunderstand me what I'm saying here. Many of you are focused on an inheritance monetarily wise, where stocks, inheritance, money, land, all that's great. Don't misunderstand me. But this is not necessarily what this is talking about. It's also talking about more stability, a relationship with the Most High. Because a lot of our people have had money, but the way they got the money was not the way of the Most High. That's why it wasn't wealth. It was just riches. And then by the time the next generation came, what happened to it? It's over. So things that the Most High gives that's done and operated correctly go from one generation to the next. So notice what he's saying here. Read it again, verse 22. He says what?
A good man.
A good man. Go ahead.
Leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner.
And the wealth of who?
Of the sinner is laid up for the just.
Is laid up for the just. Now, how did America get that money? How did the wealth that came into America, how did they receive it? It goes without saying. But what you must understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that our children's children, if we teach them the way that they need to live, when they leave here, they leave it with all that. In the same way our ancestors left. Okay? You're not going to have to take the mark to get it. Just wanted to put that out there. So get the money, teach your kids financial, education and literacy and all these things. Get them up on the right. But more than anything, teach them law, statutes, commandments, and following the Holy Spirit and the Mashiach. Because when it's time to go, they will be a true wealth exchange. I'm not talking about that prosperity movement stuff they talking about over there. You can't be talking about the wealth of those sinners is later, the wealth of the sinners later for the just when you still breaking law, statutes, commandments. No, that's not the way it goes. The real transfer is going to be when Israel gets ready to leave here. In the same way our ancestors left, it's all going with us. Watch this. Now, go back, read verse 2 again. So this will make more sense now. Watch this.
Enlarge the place of thy tent, and let them stretch forth the curtains of thy habitations. Spare not, lengthen thy cords, and strengthen thy stakes. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left.
Right.
And the seed shall inherit the Gentiles and make the desolate cities to be inhabited.
You see that? You see that? This is the Bible. This ain't Leviticus' opinion here. You understand? Watch this. Watch this. Verse 4. Verse 4.
Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed. Neither be thou confounded,
right.
For thou shalt not be put to shame, for thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth.
You're going to forget the shame of thy youth. Go ahead.
And shall not remember the reproach of thy widowhood anymore.
All that we had when we were separated from the Most High, we will not ever think about it again. Right? Y'all seeing this? Watch this. Watch this. Verse 5.
For thy maker is thy husband,
Mhm.
the Lord of hosts is his
His
name.
name is Ahia. Go ahead.
And thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the God of the whole earth, shall he be called.
Shall he be what?
Shall he be called.
And he's going to be called that because the children of Israel will proclaim his name. And the Gentiles who cleave to us, according to Isaiah 14, will call on that name as well. Notice Isaiah 56, when it says the strangers they shall do what? Call on that, know his name. When you go to Amos 9, what it says, the Gentiles that are what? Called of his name. So for my Gentile brothers and sisters, you won't make it without us. Business as usual is over. Don't overlook the lily in your valley. Everything is turning around. See, the reason why people have been crying over this is because you misunderstand. Once again, you thought this was the devil and American government. They're not. They're pawns in the Most High scheme. You understand? Let me show them again, D. Let's make it clear. 2 or 3 witnesses, right? Let's go to Amos 9. Let me show you this. I want the people to be encouraged after tonight to not overlook the lily of your valley. If you keep talking about what you're losing, you will not be in a position to gain. This is reaping season, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this. Amos 9. Amos 9, verse 8 through 9. Watch this.
Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob.
Y'all see that? So my brothers and sisters, my Christian brothers and sisters, if you want to continue to be Black, African American, Christian, Baptist, Republican, Democrat, it's not going too well for those guys. But read it again, that last part. I will destroy what?
I will destroy from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord.
So I think it's really important to know who you are. Watch this, verse 9.
For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations.
How do you shift something deep? Shake it up. Shaking it up. The Most High is shaking up the world right now. You doing what?
Will shift the house of Israel among all nations. Like as corn is shifted in a sheaf, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
Like the least grain fall on the earth. This is only promised to Israel. Come on home, man. Back to Isaiah 54. Watch this. Read verse 5 again.
For verse 4.
Verse 5. Let's read that again. Yeah, just go ahead and bring it all in. Verse 4 there. That's good.
Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be thou confounded, for thou shalt not be put to shame. For thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth, and shalt not remember the reproach of thy widowhood anymore.
You won't even thinking about what they've done to this more. Civil rights movement, all of the crack, all of the abortion clinics, the heroin, the GMOs and the poison our food. Yeah, they did it. They tried their best with the vaccines. They tried everything they could do to destroy us. And it didn't work. And it ain't going to work. Don't overlook the lily that's in your valley right now. Watch this. Verse 5.
For thy maker is thy husband, and the Lord of hosts is his name. And thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the God of the whole earth shall he be called.
Right, verse 6.
For the Lord has called thee a woman forsaken, and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth, when thou was refused, saith God.
He said, listen, we were refused. We got cut off. Hosea 1:9 said, listen, you're not no longer my people. Jeremiah 17:4 said, I will take away thy heritage. It's over. That was over. But now it's a new day. Watch this. Verse 7.
For a small moment have I forsaken thee.
So the Most High, you gotta understand. The Bible says in 2 Peter 3:8 that a day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years to the day of the Lord. So this 400 years for him was a small moment. It was rough for us though. It was rough. But for him, it was just a small moment. Go ahead.
With great mercies will I gather
But with great mercies will I gather thee. Go ahead.
In a little wrath.
Notice how he called that a little wrath. So think about it now. What happened to us for 400 years was a little wrath. What the Babylon got coming to them then? If what happened to our people was a little wrath, I don't want to be on the side of the real wrath. Come home, Israel. You better come home. Watch this. Read that again. He said what?
In a little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment. But with an everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith the Lord thy Redeemer. For this is as the waters of Noah unto me.
Right.
For as I have sworn that the waters of Noah should no more go over the earth, so have I sworn that I would not be wroth with thee, nor rebuke thee.
Y'all see that? The punishment is over. The punishment is over, Israel. The only ones that will be punished and destroyed are those who choose not to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Watch this. Verse 10.
For the mountains shall depart and the hills be removed.
He told us, Yeshua told us in Mark the 11th chapter, verse 23, we speak to that mountain and believe that mountain shall be cast into the sea. We believe that we have what we ask. When we ask, we shall receive what we ask. Most High telling us what?
For the mountains shall depart and the hills be removed. For my kindness shall not depart from thee.
My kindness shall not depart from thee. Go ahead.
Neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed, saith the Lord that has mercy on thee.
You see that? Y'all see that? Watch this. Watch this. Verse 11.
O thou afflicted, tossed with tempest, and not comforted, behold, I will lay thy stones with fair colors, and lay thy foundations with sapphires. I will make thy windows of agates, and thy gates of carbuncle, and all thy borders of pleasant stones. And all thy children shall be taught of the Lord.
We're going to have direct access to Yeshua. Go ahead.
And great shall be the peace of thy children. In righteousness shall thou be established. And thou shalt be far from oppression.
Far from oppression.
For thou shalt not fear.
Not fear.
And from terror, for it shall not come near thee.
It will not come near us ever again. Watch this.
Behold, they shall surely gather together.
He said, listen, they gather. He let them know. He letting us know. They're gathering together against us. All of a sudden, which we told y'all months ago, now the so-called black man and minorities is the face of the virus now. We told you this day was coming. And this is just the beginning of Jacob's trouble. I need you guys to understand that it ain't getting no easier for Israel. And my Christian brothers and sisters, you need to peep this, because right now, at this current moment, the Christian church has been under attack. You pastors better wake up. So they're going to rock some of y'all back to sleep today with this, what they call Good Friday and this Easter Resurrection Sunday. Some of you are going to be rocked back to sleep. TBN, all these guys going to be broadcasting. Your pastor's going to be broadcasting with the great words and the 7 last word messages and all these stuff. It's going to be really good. And they're going to show you all the kids in the park doing the Easter egg hunts and the people practicing social distances, but they still keeping the feast and still celebrating and still happy. They're going to rock you back to sleep. But Christians, my Christian brothers and sisters, you better realize that for you that was standing and still having church and still going forth in your things, you guys are under assault by not only the government, but some of your own fellow believers and pastors. Notice how standing on this Bible put a bullseye on your back. You guys got a small taste of what the Israelites been experiencing the whole time. And I pray that during this time, before it gets too late for you, that you will come on home. And I'm talking to Israel, and I'm talking to my Gentile brothers and sisters that call themselves Christians. It's time to come to the Most High. Because if you're out there on that island by yourself, many of your churches are going to be used for the vaccinations and the mark of the beast stations. It's time to put your pride to the side. Because whether you want to face it or not, they're coming. You haven't seen nothing yet. They're coming. And anybody living by this, I'm talking about really living by this, your enemy is number one. The government didn't have to attack you. Your own fellow Christians were leading the assault. Why are they having church? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? You better realize, you guys on the wrong side of the lines right now. You better get off that sinking ship and come back to the Most High. So they're coming. Watch this, though. This is the good news. Read it again, D. Verse 15.
Behold, they shall surely gather together.
We're talking about the Gentile nation. Go ahead.
But not by me.
I have not sent them. See, beforehand, when all the nations came and took us into captivity, the Most High sent them. But he letting us know what's happening in these last days. That's not me no more. Your punishment is up. The eugenics and all that stuff where they're planning for our people in this country and in South America and in West throughout Africa. You ever notice that they don't never do any of those stuff in North Africa? When have you ever seen Ebola in Ethiopia and Sudan? You ever seen it in Algiers, Morocco, and Libya? You ever seen it up there? They're coming. And Most High is letting his people know that right now, I'm not the one sending you. I'm not the one sending them. Watch this. Go ahead.
Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake.
Read it again.
Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake.
I'm going to destroy them for your sake. Watch this, verse 16.
Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy.
So he said, listen, every one of the things that they're creating for their little vaccines, for their little weapons, for their guns, for all of the mass weapons that they got to take out our people, I created all of that. Okay. So they're not doing anything on their own. They're just using my stuff. And you think I'm going to allow them to use my stuff to destroy my kids? Not happening. This is why he tells us in verse 17.
No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn.
So I'm telling you, my Christian brothers and sisters, if you're not ready to receive who you are, the best thing to do right now is to be quiet. Give him Matthew 12 and 37 to confirm that out of Yeshua's mouth. Matthew 12 and 36 and 37. If you don't understand something, if you haven't received it yet, if you're still in denial, if you don't have the proper information, if the Spirit has not revealed these to you, the best thing you do is be quiet. Because if you keep talking against the awakening of the Most High's people, if you keep speaking against the law, statutes, commandments, you keep speaking against the Sabbaths and holy days, Matthew 12, 36 and 37.
But I say unto you that every other word that men shall speak, they shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment.
Listen, it may sound good on social media. All of your Christian brothers and sisters may like it and share it, and your pastor friends may high five you, and you say, go girl, go boy, you told them. It may get you that. But read it again. He says what?
But I say unto you that every other word that men shall speak, they shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified.
By your words you will be justified.
And by thy words thou shalt be condemned.
Now go back to Isaiah 40:54 and read verse 17 again. Now, The reason why we took our time with this is because Isaiah 54:17 is just as popular as Philippians 4:13. And everybody try to quote that scripture talking about no weapon formed against me will prosper. That ain't talking to Christians. This is talking to Israelites. This is talking to the sons and daughters of the Most High Higher that is keeping law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Read it again. He says what?
No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper.
So whatever weapons they use, whether it be social media, whether it be vaccines, whether it be guns, whether it be GMO food, poison, whatever it is they're coming up with, abortion clinics, drugs, prisons, whatever they're trying to do to destroy us, what? No weapon, what?
No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper.
Right.
And every tongue that shall rise against thee.
Every tongue that rise against his sons and daughters, what?
In judgment.
In judgment shall what?
Thou shalt condemn.
Shall condemn. Go ahead.
This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord.
Mm-hmm. This is the heritage of who?
This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord.
Of Christians.
Of servants of the Lord.
Uh-huh.
And of their righteousness is of me.
And their what?
And their righteousness is of me.
And their what?
And their righteousness is of me.
And their righteousness is of me. Says who?
Saith the Lord.
Saith the Most High. Don't overlook the lily in your valley. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we like to give all praise. We like to give all glory. We like to give all honor to Ahaya Bah Hashem Yeshua and the precious Ruach for everything that took place tonight. And we pray and hope, ladies and gentlemen, that this inspires you, that this empowers you. We pray and hope this encourages you. We pray and hope throughout this Sabbath and throughout the days to come that you manifest on what the Most High spoke to you tonight. And you don't allow what you see or what you hear or what other people are doing to deter you from this path that the Most High has you on. You may be in a drought. You may be in a low place, but you're there for a reason. Why are you there? Don't overlook the lily in your valley. So we want you to know that we love each and every one of you. If you guys need anything, don't ever hesitate to hit us up. We're here for you. We're here for you, and we're always going to be here, whatever you need us to do. So as we always say, D, you got anything? As we always say, continue to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding to the work of the Most High.
Only you can make
so I'm Israelites out there, Quorum Yasharala.
Never I won't sell my soul. Only you can make me whole. Yeah. Never I won't sell my soul. Yeah. Only you can make me whole. Blade you. I've been seeking for the truth. Blues clues, I've been trying to find the clues. Thinking about my soul, I don't want to lose. Thinking about eternity. Cast away my sins, yeah, into the sea. Looking for the truth and you my remedy. Read up in the word and I see it's the history of my people. Yeah, trying to spread your word, spread your light. Only you, Lord, make it right. With you on my side, I can fight, yeah. Israel, we the chosen people. Israel, we the chosen people. Yeah, for sure, you ain't just a Negro. Yeah, for sure, you ain't just a Negro. Read Deuteronomy 28. It said that we gonna be taking as slaves. Well, the people been taken as slaves. Well, the people been taken away from their home. Yeah, Father, I'm in my zone. Your spirit with me. Need some more. Yeah. Scripture for the trenches, scripture for the trenches, scripture for the trenches, and they not even woke. Father, only you, yeah, I put in my hope. Future first down here, it's already wrote. Looking in your words so you can show me the ropes. Your people, put down the desert eagle. Rich or poor, treat you equal. Scripts for the trenches, yeah. Scriptures for the trenches. Scriptures for the trenches, yeah. Script for the trenches. Scriptures for the trenches.
Don't overlook the lily. in your valley.
Yeah. Yeah.